Hello, Pisces. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If Pisces is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Pisces, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Seven of Pentacles. This is a lot of hard work, a lot of discipline. You're somebody that does not quit easily. You don't give up. Even when the rewards don't really seem to be there. You're showing up every day, you're putting in work. This is, we're tending to the garden even though things aren't abundant yet. Okay. The key word for this card is failure, but failure is just the prototype for success. Okay. So if you've been through something before and it didn't work out in the most ideal way, you learn something from that. Okay. Maybe you've been through a lot of different gardens. You've tried your hand at a lot of different crops, a lot of different plants, and you've learned something from each one, even though maybe none of them were the big jackpot we were looking for. But there was always something to take away from it. There's always something gained. Any experience from which you didn't learn something is kind of a wasted experience. Okay? So you're the kind of person that keeps everything with you. Everything is stored away, filed away for access later. There's always a use for something, and maybe this sort of plays out in your daily life, in your personal life. Maybe you are a bit of a collector. I kind of feel as if you do accumulate things, and you think, well, someday this might be useful, And I think more often than not, there comes a day in your life where you say, I'm glad I kept that thing, Or there's some situation where you can sort of recall a past event, and you say, I've been here before, and I know what to do. I think you're somebody with a lot of experience. You've got a lot of tools in your toolbox, Let's put this card into some context. Let's see what's going on with your energy right now and going into the future. Here we have the Seven of Pentacles. Oh, look at that. Oh, we've got the Fool. We've got the Princess of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups. There's the Wheel of Fortune. There's the Star. Oh, yes. Very good. I think your fortune is changing very, very quickly now. There's some fire energy, Six of Wands. There's a Prince of Cups, a Princess of Swords, and, oddly enough, your superpower card, the Moon card. And the Moon card rules the sign, excuse my voice. The Moon card is the card that rules the sign of Pisces. Okay? And that is a very special card. That's the card of kind of saying the worst is over, right? It's a card that's saying your almost a karmic cycle here, right, is sort of done. That you're free now in a way. Okay, we got this Fool card. We got this Moon. A lot of good stuff here. This is very, very good. We're going to select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the Factor Infinite and Unknown. And we're going to set it down right here with Bubo, the Mechanical Owl, right on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together and it will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If you have a prediction for that card, please put it down in the comments below. Let's do it together. Let's use our intuition. Okay? All right, now looking around at the room here. Your superpower card. This is a real jackpot for you because not only is this situation that you've been, this garden that you've been tending, not only is it going to bear fruit, we see a big bunch of grapes here in the Fool card, not only is it bearing fruit, but I think it is showing you the path to your very best self, your very best life. Because the star here shows you who you are and why you're here. And you're able to move in that direction. Okay? Your fortune is changing very fast, and I think that at the end of all of this, you're sort of venturing off on a new quest. You're sort of, I don't know, it almost feels like this is somebody who is just kind of galloping off, toward the sunset, ready for the next adventure, the next unknown mystery, the next challenge in life, And I think the darkness that maybe once worried you or had this, Seven of Cups feeling, I don't think it worries you. I don't think it scares you anymore. I think you're embracing the darkness. You're embracing the unknown because you're more than equipped to handle it. Now, the Fool may seem sort of empty and, foolish, but the Fool has all the tools that it needs for success, right? The Fool is kind of a transcendence, even. The Fool is, I think, a new perception. It kind of feels like a new light is being shined on this Seven of Pentacles, and we're realizing that this really is a garden that's growing, especially down here with the Princess of Pentacles. The Princess of Pentacles is sort of that hope that you hold inside of you, because this is sort of the dead of winter. This is stark, barren, sterile, empty, lifeless. But you know that there's life in here. You know that this situation of yours is just, it's ready to burst with life. It's kind of like you're working at this thing and you just think any minute now, any day now, it's going to hit. Yeah, and it does. And you've got this Wheel of Fortune, this jackpot up here. Your fortunes really are changing. If you've been feeling as if you're at the bottom of the wheel, between the rubber and the road, all that is changing. The wheel is now turning. You're headed toward the top. Okay? And I think that you've been working toward this moment. I was going to say praying for this moment or waiting for this moment, but no. You haven't been waiting, because that sort of implies that we've been idle. You're not praying, because that implies that maybe there wasn't really a certainty there. Praying for something is kind of like, we know it's a long shot, but can you give me a break this time? No, I feel like you've always had a certainty that you knew that this was going to work somehow. You would find the right tool for the right job, and it would unlock this fortune, this success of your life, this Wheel of Fortune energy that really does confirm for you who you are and why you're here. I feel like you have a very intense relationship with Spirit. I feel like you're following your guides. You're following Spirit. Most people in this situation here, it's kind of like the Fool is here and they just keep working at this. You just keep digging and digging and digging and digging. You say, I know there's treasure down here somewhere. And people may look at you and think, that's a fool's errand, right? That's a ridiculous task. There's nothing there. There's no gold in that place. This isn't soil that can grow abundant crops and fruits and vegetables and things, right? But you kept at it when most people would have given up. Most people would have had that self-consciousness that kind of says, okay, I better walk away from this before I really start looking stupid. You say, I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't care what anybody says. I know it's true. I know it's here. I'm going to keep looking. I'm going to keep digging. You're discovering it. It's happening, So So I like our major arcana very much. We have a little bit of fire over here with our Six of Wands. We've got fire. We've got water. Got a little bit of air. And of course, we have our earth energies right over here, which the earth energies kind of say, look, we have a strong feeling. Our intuition tells us that something is here, that the treasure is here. If we just keep digging, we'll hit jackpot. We'll find that pot of gold. Okay. I think in the past position, we have the water over here. It is, it's really, to me, it feels like, things can't really get any worse. By you devoting yourself to this and trying with all your might, trying to find the right tool for the right job, maybe we're trying to unlock something, if your commitment to this isn't going to make anything any worse, And sometimes it's when we feel as if I got no choice left. That's when we can do our very best work. When it's just kind of, maybe life has put you in a situation, or you put yourself in a situation where this better work or else, right? Because we feel Seven of Cups kind of stuck in the mud. We feel as if we're sinking, and this is going to work. Not, I hope it does, not, I feel like it might. No, this is going to work. It's just a matter of sticking with it, thinking outside the box, thinking creatively. But there's a certainty that's underlying everything that most people don't have. It's like you're building this business, and it may be just still at the ground sort of level, but you're like, once we get our 1 millionth customer, then we'll franchise and we'll branch out, and people are looking around like 1 millionth customer, like we haven't even opened the doors yet. It's almost as if you can see the future, and maybe that's it. Maybe that's the moon card there, because most of us would see the moon card and we think, that's a dark, scary forest of uncertainty. That's a doorway that is pitch black and I cannot see. Well, that's your superpower. Maybe you're very good at seeing in the dark. And that's why you're able to look at that Seven of Pentacles and think, I don't just see a black, a rectangle, right? I don't just see a black rectangle, but there's something down there. I know it's there. Right? Most people look at that and think, it's black, nothing, empty, right? It's a dry hole. No. And you don't care what the perception is. The Fool here is someone who is not self-conscious. There is no consciousness of self here with the Fool. Doesn't matter. I don't care what I look like. I don't care what anyone's perception is. There is a certainty. And there's really, that certainty is echoed here in the Prince of Cups as well. This is a fixed water energy. This is a feeling that we strongly identify with that's not going anywhere. Okay. And that's the feeling toward this princess, and thinking, I know this is the one. I know this is it. We could be talking about a business or financial thing. We could be talking about even romance, right? We could be talking about this fact that, we just, we're moving away from a toxic situation, and we're sort of trying to dig ourselves out of a hole. Maybe we are trying to, we recognize that this is a relationship that didn't work. Okay, I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep working on my relationships. They don't have to be romantic. All of our relationships. I feel like you have a strong sense of self, strong sense of your own identity. You have a very, intense personality, very strong personality. And it's kind of like what you see is what you get, that you're not going to change yourself for anyone. So I feel like this could be talking about love here. We don't have a lot of water energy. I think what we're searching for maybe is not so much a jackpot, a pot of gold, but a pot of water, right? That maybe you are searching for the Ace of Cups down here, not the Ace of Pentacles. Maybe you're looking for the Ace of Cups, and the princess here is just saying, I know that the perfect relationship is out there for me. I know that, you know that you deserve love and joy and happiness, right? And so the Fool is just sort of a little bit easygoing about things. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to stay out here. If I realize that something is not what I want, this is a situation that does not bring you joy. Maybe one time it did. I know what I don't want, right? The Fool is that wanderer, the one that's always on the quest, always on the adventure, always on the journey. And it's the path of not here. Maybe you're looking for that true love. Maybe you're looking for a sense of purpose, right? The Seven of Cups is everything that you've tried that didn't bring you joy. I know that my path is not here. Well, keep going. Keep trying. What's next? Let me sample something else, Maybe we're at the ice cream parlor and there's 31 flavors, and it's just saying, I'm going to sample them all until I find the one that really brings me joy. Some of them I don't like. I don't like the, the pina colada flavor. I don't like that flavor. Maybe too many memories of my 20s. I don't know. But the Fool is just saying, I'm gonna sample everything until I find what is right for me, until I find that pot of gold, or until I find that bowl of ice cream or whatever, that Ace of Cups, that's down here. I do feel that there's a financial component to all of this. It's hard not to interpret it that way, especially when we're going up the middle pillar here, and we've got the princess kind of knowing that there's a potential under the surface, but we're just trying to dig deeper until we really uncover it. We're trying to unearth something, right? And that's going to really set this divine wheel in motion. This real jackpot, your true ascendancy. I think that it's leading you closer to yourself, leading you on your true path. I think this is really the Fool learning to navigate by starlight, learning what doesn't work, right? This is the path of not here. This is saying, I don't know where exactly I'm going. I'm trying to discover who I am and why I'm here. I know I don't belong here. It's kind of a process of elimination in a way. But not exactly, because if there are an infinite number of choices, you can eliminate an infinite number of them and still not know where you're going. So it's not enough to just know what we don't want. We have to learn the lesson. We have to see the trend there to begin to understand what it is we do want. You see? It's not just about the elimination. I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that, or that, or that, or that. Why don't you want those? And what does that reveal to you about what you do want? See, we have to do the work of the Star card. The Star card, if we allow it, it illuminates what's going on within us, shows us who we are, what we're made of. Yeah, shows us where our knots of karma are, shows us where our weak spots are, shows us where our issues might be, shows you what kind of extra baggage we might be carrying. And it's not so much, it's not judging. It's not saying, oh, that luggage is bad, But it wants us to recognize what's going on. It's not even about untying those karmic knots or getting rid of the buttons. We all have our buttons, It's about recognizing them so that we're not letting everything in the world push those buttons, that we can choose what parts of ourselves we want to activate. Okay? It could be the Fool has this sense of, you know that you're meant to do great things. Maybe this is someone who wants to be a comic or a musician or a writer or a business person or whatever, a pilot or I don't know, an astronaut. And this is This is discovering what sort of things we are good at. What is our raw talent? And how can we continue to work toward our goals and resist the very human tendency to be discouraged. You know, the Seven of Cups, we get enough Seven of Cups and eventually we just kind of want to throw in the towel. We just kind of say, I'm giving up, right? But the Fool and the Star card, it's as if we know who we are. We know what our buttons are. We know sort of what skills and talents we have. But now we're in control of when they get activated and how we use them. Like I said, you got a lot of tools in your toolbox. You just got to know which one to use at the right moment. And that's going to unlock everything for you. Once we start that first phase of the star work, it sort of activates phase 2, showing us, you know, the light, sort of the light at the end of the tunnel. But it starts to illuminate our path for us. Some of this light starts to spill out from us and shows us the way. It's really the process of becoming the magician. And the Fool becomes the magician, right, from 0 to 1. The Fool becomes an active force in the universe. The Fool, the raw talent, starts to, once it realizes what its buttons are and its karma is and its tendencies and its personality and its history and all that internal stuff that the Star card reveals to us, learns how to use those things, knows how to use your own inner sort of toolbox, your psychic tools, you know, to create the reality you want. Then the Fool becomes the magician. The magician is the result of this work because we become a clear channel for that spiritual light and is able to pour out from us. See, sometimes the Fool is one who is ignorant of themselves, doesn't know what their talents are, doesn't know who they are, what they want, where they're going, why they're here, doesn't know any of that stuff. It's just the beginning of the journey, the Fool's journey, right? Through the major arcana of the tarot. But through this process of the star energy, we're learning who we are so that we can become the magician the Fool can set out on their journey. The Fool can become the number 1, right? The magician. Which in a way is if you recognize your raw talent, then you kind of know how to hone and refine that raw talent into a successful life, into a successful path, into 6 of Wands, victory. We're going to talk about the path of the Serpent now, and as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It is totally free. It doesn't cost anything. Supports the channel, and I really do appreciate that. Okay. I have another channel, Dove and Serpent Bedtime Stories. Go show some love over there, please. 6 of Wands is that victory. It is that win. It is the success and the achievement and the accomplishment, knowing that I have talent and I have skill and I'm putting it all to the right work. I found the right tool for the right job, and that's a win. That's success. That's a victory after a lot of struggle, a lot of hard work. Been digging in that dirt for a long time. You've discovered what it is you're meant to discover. And I think you're realizing that, yeah, you were right. This is going to be amazing. There is a lot of life under the surface here. That verdant energy is returning. Okay. Your fortune is changing very, very fast now. You stay committed. You stay focused. You keep that love in your heart. You keep that desire burning in you. This is a fixed water energy. Okay, could be talking about a Scorpio person in your life too. Maybe a very significant person for you. I think you do have a lot of love. This is somebody that you trust very, very much. They may not be a Scorpio. They may not even be a water sign. Maybe they are. Maybe. It's someone you trust. It's someone around whom you can be your absolute, truest, most authentic, vulnerable self. Whether it's friend, family member, a lover, maybe it's a cat. I don't know. But this is somebody that will always support you, someone that will always love you and really give it to you straight as well. They're not hiding behind any sort of sugar coating. Okay? This is a very important person to you. I don't know exactly who they are. It feels like it might be a romantic partner. Someone very close. It's an intimate relationship, yeah. Make sure you share your feelings with them. Okay? The Princess of Swords is it's the idea of continued learning. Yeah. It's the idea of realizing that the Fool doesn't know everything. The Fool really, in that sense, kind of is empty, right? Everything that the Fool does is new. Everything that the Fool does is a novel experience, something we've never done before. And that's the spirit with which we need to approach ourselves. That's the way we need to approach our future. This dark, scary forest that we're headed into, we need to approach it like, I don't know what it is. I've never been there before. I'm very open to, to what it is. I'm going to be very careful at the same time. Okay. Sometimes the Princess of Swords can be a little defensive, especially when we're over here and we have this absolute certainty that we don't want to feel as if there are things I don't know, because that sort of takes away from our certainty over here, right? But once we get over here, we realize we need that Princess of Swords. We need to look for things that we don't know. We need to look for where our uncertainties are. Your heart is fixed on this. Now we've got to put in the real work to say, okay, if I'm going to become the magician, if the Fool is going to become the magician, the Fool has to be open to learning. You think of like someone who's got raw talent, a singer or someone who's really good at drawing or whatever. They've got to refine that talent. In other words, they need training. They need practice. They need to sort of fail sometimes. They need criticism. And the Princess of Swords sometimes is very defensive or resistant to that, saying, no, I already know what I'm doing. I'm already perfect at this. You have the talent, but without the refinement or the mastery of that talent, you're not the best magician you can be. So this is the apprentice. This is someone who says, I want to be the very best magician I can be. So now that I know who I am and where I'm going, let me work toward the rest of the Fool's journey and refine myself. I know that this is you kind of going into it as a neophyte. Yeah, going into this dark, scary forest of your own self-initiation, your own journey and destiny, and saying, I'm going to continue to learn. I'm always going to be open to this star card. Now, maybe that we think that the star energy is just a one-time thing. It shows us who we are, where we're going. Okay, thank you. No, it's an ongoing process. It's a lifelong education of ourselves, learning who we are and where we're going. Takes probably more than one lifetime, right? So this is the idea of continued education. You're a lifelong learner. I think you're somebody that, you're like that. You do that anyway. Like I said at the beginning, you're always finding new tools and you're keeping things and you're thinking, that might come in handy for later. I'm going to store that back there. Let me file that away for later. There's no information, there's no knowledge that's useless. It just depends if we're going to use it or not. Wisdom is how we use that knowledge, right? Because your future is uncertain, and so you're trying to equip yourself as best you can so that when you're in this dark, scary forest of the uncertain future, you have every tool you need to meet with any contingency, any inevitable, any variable, any surprise, anything that happens. You'll say, I've got the tool for that. I know just what to do. In that sense, you're very prepared, spiritually. But I want to look at the mystery card. I want to see if this is going. I think it might be the Death card. But I would like to see that Ace of Cups. That feeling of that sense of purpose, that source of all of the meaning in your life. If you have a prediction, put it in the comments down below. Let's see what it is. 3 of Swords, huh? Okay. 3 of Swords connects us back with that 7 of Cups. Okay. Because the 3 of Swords is the memory. And now I think there must be more to this, and that's why we're being referred back. The 3 of Swords is the memory of what we have been through. Sometimes the 3 of Swords is us recreating these scenarios. Okay? And very often the 3 of Swords is this ongoing, continued, trauma. Because we are reliving a traumatic event, and we are sort of feeling the pain of it again. That's not a good thing. The 3 of Swords gets a very bad rap. That's a terrible thing to do. We don't want to keep ruminating on all of our past trauma because it's kind of, it feels like it's happening again. And for all intents and purposes, as far as our body, our heart, our mind is concerned, it is happening again. If we immerse ourselves back in that memory, it's hurting us again. Okay? So if you're doing this, there better be a very good reason. If there's a reason why you are stuck in that 7 of Cups memory, if I'm remembering, because remember we said we sort of file these away, right? So maybe these are all of those on the path of not here. These are all those things that are not bringing me joy. These are all those either toxic, traumatic experiences or just the not pleasant experiences that we are moving on from, that we are transcending, that we're walking away from, letting go, forgiving it, not forgetting it. What is the reason why you would recall those and relive those experiences? Maybe it is in anticipation of what's coming in your future, so that you can have assured yourself that you know why, that you understand what these were. Okay? So if you're doing this kind of emotional work, if you're going through that kind of depth, emotional depth work, right? Then there's a good reason for it. I think the reason is to understand, again, what we don't want and to try to find the clues that were back there in those places, what we do want. And maybe that's why we're sort of searching back into these memories. Because we're realizing, okay, these are things I don't want, process of elimination, but there's some clue in these situations. There's some little piece of information here that you need, because all these clues together will point you toward what you really do want. Okay, so maybe Spirit is saying, don't be afraid of remembering the past, because there are useful tools there that you can collect. Don't linger there. Don't let it slow you down. Don't let it traumatize you again. Don't let it, drag you down to the depths. But don't be afraid of going back and understanding what those situations were and what they tell you about yourself and about who you are and why you're here. Maybe that's part of our star energy work. Okay. Very interesting confirmation here. We're going to do an extended reading if you want to stick around for that. There's a link in the corner. There's one down below. New readings for Pisces are on Thursdays and Sundays. Be sure to watch both readings. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. It is totally free. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you're watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.